So, today we're diving into an absolutely colossal infrastructure project in India's northeast. And look, this isn't just a bridge we're talking about. This thing is a total game changer, set to completely reshape connectivity, trade, and even just daily life for two entire states. All right, let's just start with a question that gets right to the core of what this is all about. Imagine a trip you have to take, maybe for work, maybe to see family. Takes hours and hours because you have to go on this huge, long detour. Now, what if you could slash that journey by over 90%? And this isn't some hypothetical, right? This is the actual engineering promise of the Dhubri-Phulbari Bridge. And this slide, wow, it just lays it all out perfectly. On the left, you see the old way of doing things, a winding 205-kilometer drive that could easily take you 5 hours, maybe more. Now look at the right. The new route is a direct 19-kilometer shot across the river. That same journey, it's now down to about 20 minutes. The difference is it's absolutely staggering. So you have to wonder, how did we even get here? To really get why this bridge is so important, you have to understand the sheer scale of the geography it's about to conquer. So first, let's talk about the problem, that massive detour. You know, the main character in this whole story is really the Brahmaputra River. It's not just some body of water, it's this vast, powerful force of nature. For centuries, it's acted as this huge barrier, basically splitting the states of Assam and Meghalaya and keeping communities on either side almost completely separate. And you can really see the human cost here. For folks living in towns like Dhubri and Phulbari, their entire lives have been dictated by the river. Getting across meant depending on these slow, sometimes unreliable ferry services. The only other option was that huge road detour we just saw. And that kind of separation, it doesn't just make travel hard. It slows down business. It limits access to things like hospitals and schools. And it just makes it harder for communities to stay connected. But of course, where there's a barrier, there's always the human ambition to cross it. And that, of course, brings us to the solution, the Dhubri-Phulbari Bridge. We're talking about one of the most ambitious infrastructure projects in India's entire history. Okay, just let that number sink in for a minute. 19.282 kilometers, nearly 20 kilometers long. This is way more than just a bridge. It's basically a highway over the water. To give you some perspective, that's longer than many entire cities are wide. It's just massive. And a project of this scale, well, it obviously comes with a pretty big price tag. The total cost is nearly 5,000 crore rupees. But, a figure like that isn't just an expense. It's really a strategic bet that the long-term economic boom you get from this kind of seamless trade and connectivity will far, far outweigh that initial cost. And here's the kicker. When this thing is finished, it will officially become the longest river bridge in India. To put that into perspective, it's going to be nearly double the length of the current record holder, the Dola Sadia Bridge. So this isn't just a bridge, it's a true landmark of Indian engineering. So as you can imagine, building the country's longest bridge over a river as powerful and unpredictable as the Brahmaputra is no walk in the park. It demanded a really unique design and a huge collaborative effort to pull it off. So, the bridge uses what's called an extradosed design. What on earth does that mean? Well, think of it like a hybrid. It has those elegant cables you see on cable-stayed bridges, but it also combines them with the raw strength of a traditional girder bridge. This design is absolutely perfect for the Brahmaputra because it lets them build these really long spans between the piers, which is crucial for navigating the river's deep channels and shifting sandbars. A project this massive requires a team of absolute heavy hitters. It's being executed by India's NHIDCL, with the construction giant Larsen & Toubro, or L&T, handling the actual build. And what's really crucial here is that it's also partly funded by the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA. That brings in global expertise and investment, making this a real partnership aimed at boosting the entire region. Building this bridge is a true battle against the elements. The Northeast is famous for its intense monsoons. The rain is heavy, and it causes the Brahmaputra to swell up massively. This means the construction window gets slammed shut for a big chunk of the year. They only get about 7 or 8 months to work, which puts incredible pressure on the teams. Every single day is a race against the weather. Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. Now let's get to the most important part, the why. Because the impact of this bridge goes way, way beyond just connecting two towns. It's really about integrating an entire region of the country. This bridge creates an incredible ripple effects. It all starts with a direct link between Assam and Meghalaya. Right away, that's going to boost local economies and trade.
Then you got the strategic angle. Being so close to the Bangladesh border, it seriously enhances security and logistics. And finally, and this is key, it doesn't just connect 2 points. It makes the entire transport network for all the northeastern states stronger and more efficient.
Now, what's really important to understand here is that this isn't just some standalone project out in the middle of nowhere. It's the critical missing piece of a much bigger puzzle. It's what completes National Highway 127B. Before, the highway basically just stopped at the riverbank. Now, it's going to become a seamless corridor connecting the western parts of Meghalaya and Assam directly to the rest of the country. So, where does this monumental project stand today? And the big question, when can people finally expect to drive across it? Let's take a look at the timeline. The whole thing got the green light back in 2019, and construction kicked off not long after that. And despite all those challenges we talked about, like the monsoon, as of early 2025, they've already completed an impressive 59% of the work. The official target for opening is 2028, but honestly, some reports are suggesting it could even be finished ahead of schedule, which is pretty amazing. You know, the Dhubri-Phulbari Bridge is so much more than just concrete and steel. It's a statement. It's a symbol of how modern engineering can take on these immense natural barriers to bring people together and unlock incredible potential. And it really leaves us with a fascinating question to think about. With rivers like the mighty Brahmaputra now being bridged, what other great geographical challenges will be tackled next?